Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TANSO Racing Group Toyota GR86 Season 10, round number 4 at Lime Rock Park. A short mile-and-a-half track with 7 turns, but don't let that fool you. This is a very flowy, very driver-intense track. It is a fast track with a little mix of technical sections in there as well. We've had an exciting past few weeks, and we are hopefully in store for another exciting race. My name is Chad Barker. I will be calling all the action for you today. And let's go to our starting lineup. Starting on pole for this one with a qualifying time of 1 minute, 0.8 or 6:32. The only driver to get into the 1 minute range, Josh Arnold. Starting second, we will have Mickey Dolan with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.23. Starting third, we will have Daniel Warham with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.292 lap time. The Brazilian, Egolf Satiro, will start fourth with a time of 1 minute, 1.294 second qualifying time. Starting fifth, Joseph Lopez with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.347 lap time. Next up, Casper Roost starting sixth with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.436 lap time. In seventh, Dan Forster, I believe. Forster, yes, there we are, Forster. Just got confirmation on that one. 1 minute, 1 second, 0.547 lap time. Next up, we have Reese Atkinson with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.598. Starting ninth, we have Adrian Hatfield with a 1 minute, 1.711 second lap time. Starting 10th, Simon Nelthorpe with a 1 minute, 1 second, 0.775 in that Deadpool scheme. Starting 11th will be Stuart Brierley in a 1 minute, 2 second, 0.192. First driver in the 1 minute, 2 seconds. JT Johnston will start 12th with a 1 minute, 2.532 second lap time. Starting 13th will be Simon Darch with a 1 minute, 2 second, 0.636. Starting 14th, David Gibson with a 1 minute, 2 second, 0.810. And rounding your field off in 15th, was not able to make qualifying, unfortunately, but watch out for him here in the heat races, Matt Benson. And we are moments away from getting away 20 minutes the distance on this one. Green flag is out. We are racing, and a slow start by a lot of folks, but not for the second place car of Dolan. Dolan quickly up to second. And we are 3 wide heading into turn 1. And it is going to be Dolan and Arnold, your top 2. Now through the left and right handers before we head to the uphill. Now on to the no-name straight. Mickey Dolan and Josh Arnold side by side for that top spot as we head up the hill, a quick up the hill. Gotta be careful as our 2 leaders go around in hard contact into the outside wall. Oh my goodness, we have cars going everywhere. Dan Forster, now your leader. Oh my goodness. Casper Roos, Joseph Lopez also involved in that one as well. What a wild start to this one. And they are probably going to have a rough rest of their heat race, and hopefully they'll be able to make up some ground, get a good starting position in the main race. But right now we have a 3-car battle for the lead. Dan Forster, Daniel Warham, and Egolf Satiro. Your top 3 all battling it out. They've got a little bit of breathing room right now. About a 2.3 second gap between the 4th place car of Adrian Hatfield and the 3rd place car of Egolf Satiro. My, oh my. Dan Forster, Daniel Warham, no strangers to the front of this field. Egolf Satiro, no stranger to the front. However, the results have not been in his favor. Hoping to get a good result out of it today. Now Adrian Hatfield still up to third now, as it looks like Egolf Sotiro has gone off the track. Looks like he got a little sideways there. Currently running second right now, Daniel Warham. He won the last race last week at Summit Point, also taking home the heat race win, but now we got a battle for third on the final step of the podium for the heat race, but it's not going to work out too well. Nelthorpe trying to make his way in there. First time we've seen Nelthorpe here this season in that really good-looking... oh, Deadpool ski, but there's contact! Oh my goodness, Adrian Hatfield now falling towards the back. We're not even 5 minutes into this race and we already have a ton of action. Now Atkinson all over the bumper of Warham. Warham trying to maintain that second place spot. Dan Forster now with a 5-second lead. Oh my goodness. And now we have the two battling it out for the top spot. As Nelthorpe makes the move on Reese Atkinson. And we have a 3-car battle now for that fourth spot. And like I said here, or third spot, and like I said, here comes Matt Benson carving his way through the field. Just under 5 minutes into this race, or just over 5 minutes into this race. And just like that, with the move, hopefully going to make it stick coming up the hill. These drivers have to be really careful. We've already seen it with Josh Arnold and Mickey Dolan at the start of this race. The cars at the top of that hill get really light with that weight transfer. And Matt Benson now making the move up into fourth from starting 15th on the grid. What a wild way this one has started. Now going back to the battle here up front, Daniel Warham still hot on the tail of his teammate Dan Forster, as he's going to take a look to the inside right before the west bend. Oh, and Forster a little loose on exit right there. Warham's going to capitalize as they head into the downhill turn 9. Or I made a mistake earlier. I said this is 7 turns. That's the more common layout that we have, or that they have here at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. This is the 9 turn with the west bend added on. Adds a little bit of a technicality to the race. But we are going to ride along here now with, let's see here, Simon Darch. And we're going to go through the big bend real quick. You kind of want to keep it low. Almost a double apex turn right there as we head through the left and right hander. It is a quick back and forth that you want to make sure you keep on. We're going to stay with him for the rest of the lap here. Now down the no-name straight, wide open. But you have to make sure your braking point is good, because there is not a lot of runoff here before we head up to the uphill. You can see those tire barriers. Like I said, at the top of that hill, car gets really light. You have to be careful. Now we head into the west bend, or you carry the speed a little bit more, but you really got to get it slow down for turns 6, 7, and 8. Just pick up a lot of speed as we head down the downhill, and it's a fast right-hander in turn 9. Let the car swing out. Let the momentum carry you back down the Sam Posey straight as we finish our lap with Darch. Josh Arnold now making his way up to 14th. He is a lapped car, however, having to go into the pits to get a few repairs, trying to make his way back up through this field. And hopefully unlap himself. I don't believe there are any cautions in these races, so no lucky dog ability for him. Now, so we head up. Now we got the battle heating up for 5th right now. Trying to break into the top 5. A little bit of contact there. And it looks like Brierley thought about taking it 3 wide going downhill to side better against it. Oh, and we got contact. We got one car trying to save it. And, oh, he almost does, but he makes contact with that green car. Not entirely sure who that is or who all was involved. Looks like the 10, Egolf Satiro, the 12, Reese Atkinson, all involved. Now we ride along with Adrian Hatfield, the 12th place car, Reese Atkinson. Going off track a little bit more as well. He is now really far back. Kind of stopped in the middle of turns 3 and 4. As we now look at the battle for 8th. Adrian Hatfield, your current leader. Or Daniel Warham, your current leader of the race, the 9, Adrian Hatfield, the car we're riding along with right now. My apologies, still waking up here a little bit. Egolf Satiro, currently in 11th right now. Now as we ride along with David Gibson, currently in the 6th place spot. Top 2 broken away from this field. 3rd and 4th kind of in a little space of their own right now. So we now go on back with Josh Arnold, still in 14th, but making his way up through the field, trying to find a bit of speed. Mickey Dolan still sitting in the pits after that early incident. Now looking at 3rd and 4th place. They are nose to tail right now as we are under halfway, 8.5 minutes remaining in the heat race. And now we have Matt Benson up to 3rd. Matt Benson, no stranger to the podium here in the TANSO Racing Group Toyota GR86 Season 10 Series. However, has not been able to get to that top step quite yet as Nelthorpe looks to the inside as we head through the West Bend, trying to keep a good run going here. Matt Benson currently running 3rd, Dan Forster 2nd. Daniel Warman, your current leader right now as we follow 3rd and 4th across the top 2. JT Johnston in 5th, leading the pack of cars 7th through 10th, really. So about a 5-6 car group right there, trying to hunt down those the 4th and 3rd place battle, who are now making their way through turn 3 as these guys are just now in turn 2. Heading up through the uphill section now with Stuart Brierley currently running 7th, but it looks like Roos is going to take a look to his inside, is going to decide better against it before they go through that West Bend, the technical part of this racetrack. Remember, you have to slow it down a bunch, especially after carrying a lot of speed up that hill and through down that short stretch right there. You have to make sure you slow it down enough to get through 6, 7, and 8. Stuart Brierly now trying to make sure he goes on the defensive here. As Gibson now, or Roost, my bad, makes the move. Stuart Brierly now falling to 8th. Currently 3rd in this train. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. As the 5th place machine has of JT Johnson broken away here a little bit. As we now go to our battle for 3rd and 4th, as Nelthorpe now making the move going into turn 1. Benson going to go on the defensive. Benson forced to go wide here. They are door to door. I don't think they've made contact yet. We know Matt Benson not afraid to get his elbows out and maintain a position, and he does through turns 3 and 4 as they now head to the no-name straight quickly to the uphill. Does Nelthorpe have anything for him as they make the quick right-hander up the hill? Car gets light. Now through the short stretch right here before we head into the West Bend. And it's a little bit, you're not too worried about the apex in turn 6 as much as you are turn 7 and 8. You want to set yourself up good going through turn 6 to go through 7 and 8. But we are going to continue our way through this. Still on that front stretch. Warham still your leader over Forster. About a 0.6 second, just over half a second separate those two. And now Nelthorpe back on the rear bumper of Benson. Gonna try the crossover, get the run going through turn 4. Doesn't work out as now we go on board with Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe with a good run onto the no-name straight. Is he gonna shove his nose in there through the uphill turn 5? Doesn't look like it. A great battle going on here as they get it slowed down. The second gear turn. And looks like he's got a little bit of stuff on his windshield. Throwing on his windshield wipers there a little bit. Maybe just waving hi to Matt, telling him he's there. And he is utilizing the draft down the Sam Posey straight. And kind of missing the apex in turn 1. Trying to set himself up for a good run at the exit at turn 2. Maybe a little wide. Maybe even hurt him a little bit there. Going to try and make it work. But I don't know what it is. Matt Benson figured out something that works pretty well there, as now Dan Forster's within half a second of the leader. The big thing Dan Forster needs to figure out right now, as we have 3 minutes remaining in this race, is, okay, where am I stronger and where is he weaker? Can I capitalize enough on where I'm stronger to keep up with him to where he is weak and try and make a move? Now, both these guys are on the SimTech team. Trying to make sure they get through it. As now we go to our battle between Simon Darch and JT Johnston. And looks like we got a pretty big battle here. We got Johnston, Darch, Hatfield, Brierly, all some pretty big names here in this one. Hatfield is now right on the rear bumper of Darch. Just under 2 minutes now remaining in this race. Now making the move onto the inside, Adrian Hatfield, but we also got to make it to the inside. JT Johnston. We got to battle up ahead of them as well. Oh, they're side by side, a little bit of contact maybe. Oh, and Hatfield goes wide. Roos now up into the 6th spot. Darch now trying to fight his way up into the top 5. Reminder, there's a top 12 invert for this race. So right now, if the race we're in, Joseph Lopez would be your current pole sitter with Egolf Satiro sitting behind him. Now through the slow chicane of the West Bend as we head downhill. Ooh, and a big slide right there by Roost. Now with a big run off the corner. Darch trying to make the move on Johnston to break his way into the top 5. Darch now makes his way into the top 5. He has the advantage going through turns 1 and 2. Oh! And going wide is Johnston. And can he hang on to it? No, he can't. Johnston goes wide. Trying to carry that speed. Gets a little too hot going into the corner and goes wide. Now Roost in second. Does he have anything for Darch? As I believe, yep, this is the last lap. Oh, my apologies. I am getting it. The leaders are now on the last lap, but these guys will still be seeing the white flag. Your leaders now heading into turn 3. And this group of cars is going to come down the hill. They're going to see Barney waving the white flag one more time around. Or not. A little bit of confusion here. And now we go back on with our leaders, making sure this is our last lap. Daniel Warham crosses the line. And they're still going. This is not the last lap. Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties here. Trying to make sure. We'll go back here. And looks like a little bit more beating and banging. And we got one car. Simon Darch, after a good run into the top 5, gets into the wall. As now the white flag is out. We are so sorry for these technical difficulties. The white flag now out. Leaders now heading through the West Bend. As they head downhill, Daniel Warham, Dan Forrester, the teammates 1-2 will see the checkered flag. Matt Benson running 3rd. Matt Benson will come across the line. 3rd. Now in 4th. Nelthorpe comes across the line. In 5th is going to be Roost. 6th, Adrian Hatfield. Or never mind, Roost in 5th right now. Hatfield currently sitting 6th. Roost comes across the line 5th. In 6th, Hatfield. 7th, Gibson. 8th, Brierly. 9th is going to be Johnston. 10th. Coming across the line after heavy contact is Darch. 11th, the Brazilian Egolf Satiro. And that will round us off. Joseph Lopez will be your pole sitter. We will be right back after this quick break. And we are back. Here's your starting lineup for our feature event. Joseph Lopez will lead your field to green. Remember, this is a 12-car invert. Starting second will be Eagle Satiro from Brazil. Starting third, Simon Darch after a rough finish in that one in the heat race. Fourth, JT Johnston. Fifth, Stuart Brierley. Sixth, David Gibson. Seventh, Adrian Hatfield. Eighth, Casper Roos after an impressive race in the heat. Starting ninth, Simon Nelthorpe. Starting 10th, Matt Benson after coming up through the rear all the way up to third place in the heat race. Dan Forster starting 11th. Daniel Warham starting 12th. In 13th, Josh Arnold after a rough start to the heat race will start 13th. Reese Atkinson, my apologies, will start 14th. Another rough race. And Mickey Dolan will round us off in 15th after a rough start. There's your iRacing safety car Porsche, and we are just moments away from getting this underway. 25 laps the distance, or 25 minutes the distance. Roughly 25 laps should be what we get. Green is up, green is out. We are racing. An intense battle as we head through the first turns 1 and 2 through Big Bend. Oh, and we got one car around in the back. Matt Benson, Josh Arnold, Reese Atkinson. Josh Arnold again involved in an early race incident. Matt Benson also involved in that. As we now head up the hill, looks like everyone's getting away through the uphill part cleanly. That's different from the last time we went through here as we got one car around. I believe that was Johnston. Johnston goes off at the bend, and we got another car. David Gibson. Gibson now around. A chaotic first lap here at Lime Rock Park for our main race. Dan Forster now all the way up to 6th after starting all the way in 11th. Having to dodge a bit of carnage there, but they're able to keep it going. Head back up the hill now. Daniel Warham all the way up to 8th after his 12th place starting position. And we got one car facing the wrong direction. That's Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe, not a regular here for the TANSO Racing Group Toyota GR86 Season 10 series, but turned a bit of heads there in the heat race, finishing 4th. However, he was facing the wrong direction at the top of the hill. Now riding along with Simon Darch. Darch had a good race going up until the very end in the heat race, trying to rebound, and so far he has, with a 4th place running position as they sit in that number 244 machine. Now, Daniel Warham and Josh Arnold run nose to tail here, or never mind, that's Stuart Brierley. No, that is Daniel Warham and Josh Arnold. Now Arnold making the move to the top spot. Arnold trying to rebound after a rough start in that last race. I know he has to be frustrated with that. And they are still side by side as they head through the left and right handers of 3 and 4. Reese Atkinson trying to make his way into the top 10. Currently a little under a second behind Roost. Three wide heading into the turn there just for a second, as now Reese Atkinson falls all the way to 13th. As we now look at our top 10, and a big move right there by Josh Arnold to make the move up into 7th. And it looks like another big move by Dolan as they head into the West Bend. Lots of big moves being made here. Now we got a 3-car battle here for the top 5. Simon Deach, Daniel Warham, Josh Arnold. They look to the outside. They're going to have the advantage going through the bend here, or going through the uphill turn. Not going to work out too well. Darch able to carry that momentum over Warham as they head into the West Bend. And now Daniel Warham making the move. Josh Arnold goes with him up into the 5th spot. Arnold now 6th, 7th, Simon Darch. But he has got Stuart Brierly and Mickey Dolan right behind him. Looks like we might be having a battle for 3rd, or maybe even 2nd. Up towards the front of the field. And it does look like it. We do have a battle for 2nd on the podium. Joseph Lopez, you're currently in 2nd. Adrian Hatfield in 3rd. Lopez goes off, and that's going to allow Hatfield now up into the 2nd spot. A mistake from Joseph Lopez. Eagle Satiro, after a rough heat race, sees himself leading by over 3 seconds. He just needs to keep it cool and keep it going. Just under 16 minutes remain in this one. It's now the battle for 4th is heating up. Simtech cars 1, 2, 3 right now. And you got to wonder, are they going to work together here and try and kind of draft off each other and work to get towards the front, or are they going to race it out and see what happens? nose to tail as they head to the uphill portion now, slowly starting to gain on Joseph Lopez, but Lopez still hot on Hatfield's tail. We could have a 5-car battle for the second step on the podium here before too long, ladies and gentlemen. And a big draft, and he's pushing him. He's pushing him down the front straightaway. And it looks like they are going to try and work together to catch the front of this field. As Lopez is now caught up back to the rear bumper of Hatfield. Hatfield trying to maintain that second place starting position, and the gap between the leader is slowly dropped now to about 3 seconds. Was that 3.3 earlier? Now about 3 seconds, but these guys have to be careful. If they battle too hard, Satiro could take advantage and run away with it. Hatfield a little bit into the grass right there, but he's going to be able to keep it together. Now watching Mickey Dolan. Dolan now on Forster's rear bumper. One thing I am surprised by right now is who's all the way down in 11th. Matt Benson. Benson usually up towards the front in these races, but not having the day he would have liked to have. Probably still battling handling issues from that lap 1 incident as Mickey Dolan gets real friendly with the curbs in turn 4. Head back up the hill. When you get to the top of that hill, your steering wheel, you feel it. Even in the sim rigs, the steering wheel gets light. You feel like you can turn the wheel so much easier for a second, and you have to be careful because when the weight and gravity comes back into play and your suspension gets all that load back on it, it can upset the car very easily. The leader, the gap between first and second place staying about the same right now. Eagle Satiro with still about a 3-second, jumping between 3 and 3.3 seconds and 3.3 seconds there, as Daniel Warham now trying to make his way onto the final step of the podium. Now Warham looks to the inside of Lopez as they head down the front straightaway. Arnold's going to go with them with a bit of a draft. Warham and Arnold now taking over the 3rd and 4th place spots as they head back into turn 1. We are now past the halfway point of this race. Excuse me. Now heading back up the uphill section. Now Warham and Arnold gonna try and work together to catch Hatfield. Hatfield going really wide there in turn 6. Not what you want to do. As now they're going to try and make the move. Hatfield now up to 2nd, and Hatfield to 3rd. Arnold now with a quick switch over, trying to make the move up into 3rd. He's going to make it stick. Daniel Warham and Josh Arnold working nose to tail to try and get to the front of this field. Can teamwork make the dream work? Can these guys get to the front of this field before time expires? Now under 10 minutes remaining. Stuart Brierley now currently running 8th. Now Benson on Dortch's rear bumper. He's going to try and make the move going down the Sam Posey straight. Does he have enough? He's got that clean air in front of him. And he's going to make it stick going into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Roost. Roost also trying to make it work. Now Benson going to try and make the move on Brierley. Ooh, it's going to be a tight squeeze going into turn 3. He decides against it. Now heading up the uphill section of turn 5 as they head into West Bend, turn 6, 7, and 8. Benson now back into the top 10, trying to make his way into maybe the top 8, hopefully maybe even a top 5, keep his good points running going. We now ride on board with Matt Benson. Benson now making the move. Oh, and is he going to get pinched? Brierley pinching him. They're door-to-door into turn 2. And it looks like Benson's going to come out, and does he have the clean line? He does, going into turn 3. What a wild, wild battle that was, and it was tight. And they're still battling behind Benson. Brierley now falling all the way down to 11th, trying to make his way back up into the top 10. Roost now falls to 11th, and Roost goes around. Roost goes around at turn 8. Not where he wants to be. He's going to do a U-ey and get back out there. Sean Nelthorpe now running. Simon, my bad. Some of these names. A lot of S's here in the TANSO Racing Group Toyota GR86 Season 10 Series. As we look on throughout the field, Daniel Warm and Josh Arnold now up to the rear bumper of Eagle Satiro. Teamwork makes the dream work. But has Josh Arnold fallen too far behind? He's now in dirty air. The air that comes off these cars is like a wake on a boat. All right, it's nice and good when you're right up on that rear of that boat, but the further you get away, the more choppier it gets, and it's the same way with the wind in these cars in the air. Eagle Satiro currently has all clean air. Daniel Warham now battling maybe a bit of dirty air, but can he power through it enough to get through that clean, to get through into the draft of Eagle Satiro? Gap now down to under half a second, now under 6 minutes remaining in the race. They head up the hill. Satiro a little wide through turn 8 or turn 6 right there. Now heading back on the main straight. 0.2 separates them now. And now Warm gonna make the move. Warm's gonna make the move going into turn 1, trying to do what he did last week at Summit Point. And now can Satiro hang on to that second place spot? He's got Josh Arnold about 0.7 seconds behind. Top three in a class of their own right now. As we come across the line, it'll be just under 4.5 minutes remaining. Top three, all within a second of each other. Adrian Hatfield, 3.5 seconds behind the leaders, top three. Now can Arnold make the move up into the second step of the podium? Now takes a peek in turn 4, or down the no-name straight bend, as they now head up the hill. I think Arnold got a little bit of airtime right there as he now makes the move going into the west bend through turn 6, 7, and 8. He's going to make it stick. Now it's a Simtech 1-2. Now under 3.5 minutes remaining. Clock slowly starting to wind down. Now looking at this battle here to break into the top 10, Reese Atkinson trying to make his move up in there. We have Nelthorpe currently running 10th, Reese Atkinson in 11th, and 12th, Casper Roost. Clock continuing to wind down, now just 2.5 minutes remaining. And now we've got a battle for the lead. They were working together. Now they're racing against each other, and they got to be careful. Eagle Satiro could easily make his way back in here. They're side by side up the hill. Last time that didn't work out too well for Josh Arnold. Josh Arnold still sits second. Arnold still second on the rear bumper of his teammate. Now 1.5 minutes remaining. And it looks like Daniel Warham slipping and sliding a little bit. Now side by side heading into turn 1. Warham on the defensive. Warham's going to make it stick through 1 and 2. They're going to stay single file through the left and right handers of 3 and 4. As they now head on the no-name straight to the uphill portion around turn 5. A little wide right there for Arnold. Now back to 0.5 second. We have now under 1 minute remaining. Does Arnold have anything for Warham? They are teammates running 1-2. Next time by, they will see the white flag. Lopez now trying to defend his 4th place spot from Hatfield. Now head up the hill. Oh, and it looks like Mickey Dolan got a little bit off track right there. As your leaders now head down the hill, Barney will be waving the white flag this time by. Or not. Not entirely sure. The game might be lagging here a little bit, but from my understanding, this is the final lap of the race. And they are still battling hard for that 4th place starting or finishing position. Lopez currently hangs on to it over Hatfield and Mickey Dolan. Hatfield now going on to defensive, trying to maintain his top 5 starting position. Or top 5 position. But now coming out of the final turn, turn 9, checkered flag is out. He's excited about it for the 2nd week in a row. It's going to be Daniel Warham. Followed by the 2nd, Arnold Egolf, Satiro 3rd, Hatfield 4th, and it looks like our stuff's getting a little askewed here. In 9th will be Stuart Brierly. In 10th, Simon Nelthorpe. 11th, Sean Reese Atkinson. 12th, Casper Roost. JT Johnston in 13th, 14th, Simon Darch, and 15th, David Gibson. Thank you all very much for tuning in to the TANSO Racing Group Toyota GR86 Season 10 Round 4 race here at Lime Rock Park. We do hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next week.